dawn to what we're seeing in the early episodes of Rebels?
Well, I think Hera trusts him more now. Hera very much seems like the type of rebel who watches people, that their actions speak louder than words, and she's very observant and keen on letting people show her who they are. And I think in A New Dawn you get a sense of who Kanaan is out of his pain and suffering, because Order 66 obviously devastated him. And you see the trials, you see in Spark Rebellion that Ezra passes the test, as it were. So you see what those were for Kanaan in A New Dawn. So I really enjoyed the specificity of it. It helped me better understand why I chose him to be a part of the mission.
I think we tried in A New Dawn to begin showing the dynamic that the executive producers were telling me about, which is that Hera is really the great strategist, the mastermind, the person who puts everything together. Kanaan is more in the Jedi sense, the field general, the tactician, the person who comes up with a wild scheme to get out of this jam or this other situation. Hera does that too. But what Hera's doing at this stage of the timeline is looking for people who will be allies, who can do this sort of thing.
Well, and also it's a difficult time for Kanaan, because if you rip out the lightsaber, you will die.
Yep.
So he wants to tell Hera who he is, but there's a risk that he could be killed. So there's that constant thread of tension where they want to show each other who they really are. I think Hera sees pieces of that in him and hopes that that is the case. But it's such a dark time for everyone that everyone's sort of playing close to the vest, and it's fun to sort of watch them open up to one another in that way.
Was there anything in A New Dawn that helped you prepare, or has maybe influenced your performance of Hera?
I think it is so vivid and it's written so well. I really enjoyed it. I had so much.
I hate her to say that.
No, I am not just saying that. It was devastating to see how the Empire literally was exterminating people without any care, no compassion. It's hard not to plug those variables into things that are going on in our society today that are upsetting. And so I remember the recording session that was directly after that I did after reading the novel. I felt a sense of intimacy with Kanaan and a deeper understanding for their losses. Because you can talk about, oh, they've lost it all, but when you have actual examples, like I said, that are so vivid and it's so well written, my heart just ached for those characters and what they're going through. And really, I've said this before, like the person you should fear the most is the one with nothing to lose. This crew, they have nothing to lose, and now you have a better sense of why, because they've literally lost many people that they love, and you see that in A New Dawn. It's really riveting and amazing. So.
Well, what I really wanted to do with the book was show the suffering of everybody in this time period, because this is something which is not just happening to the main characters; it's happening to everybody out there. We get to see a lot of the rank and file regular folk and how this is affecting them. You mentioned things from the real world. I mean, I've used this joke many times, but I have the last Soviet studies degree offered in this country. The Soviet Union literally collapsed on my dissertation. I had to go into comics instead. But I finally did get to use it. I mean, my first comic series was actually Crimson Dynamo for Marvel, which is the Russian Iron Man. And now over here in A New Dawn, I'm getting to write about the rise of a totalitarian state, transforming the institutions that previously existed. And it doesn't, it sneaks up on people. The Emperor uses people. The Emperor gets people to be his accomplices in this thing. We see a lot about the Imperial Navy and how it's transforming in this book. These people don't think there's anything wrong. Exactly. They find this to be a big opportunity. The Republic was screwed up in a lot of ways. Everybody thinks that they're the hero in their own story, and so the Emperor has just set up a scheme whereby a lot of people think they're doing something for themselves, and they're really doing it for him.
Well, and speaking of the Empire, and that kind of leads into my next question here. It's clear that in many of these books and